is Rugby Round Up. Coming up, Richard Hill looks forward to a top-of-the-table clash for Worcester. We analyse Moseley's defensive woes and look ahead to a double-header for Bees. Hello and welcome to Rugby Round Up. I'm joined in our Fort Dunlop studios by rugby correspondent Brian Dick. Hello, Brian.
Hi, Chrissy.
Well, first up, it's Worcester, and they've got a clash with second-place Bedford. This could go a long way to sealing the top spot, couldn't it?
Well, it would put them 17 points clear with 20 left on the table. Although there would still be work to do, and technically, finishing first or second doesn't mean a lot because of the way the points carry over into the playoff system. Morally and in terms of confidence, it would just stamp Worcester's authority on the division. Now, Worcester have played Bedford before, and they had to wait 80 minutes before they scored an interception try, so it's not going to be easy. But they've got it in their game, and we'll hear from Richard Hill in a minute. And he feels that Cornish Pirates are probably going to be more of a danger to their ultimate chances of going up than Bedford are. But nevertheless, on Saturday, Bedford's willingness to run from anywhere makes them unpredictable and therefore dangerous.
As you said, we spoke to Richard Hill, looking ahead to the game.
Bedford will come and they will throw the ball around. It'll be an exciting game. The way they like to play is they can't play any other way. They just play and play and play. And one of the best handling teams, 50-man rugby teams in the championship. They just have no fear at all. They'll run from anywhere. They'll try quick dropouts, quick throw-ins, quick penalties. You just cannot turn your back on Bedford for a second. If we turn our back, then we'll be in trouble. Now, when we played Bedford down there, we were very disciplined. You have to take a team like Bedford on at front because their pack is very mobile, but maybe not quite so strong at the set piece. Not to say they're not good, but they're not as strong. That's not their key area. So we will be looking to dominate up front. We'll pick a pack of forwards that can scrummage and try and wear their forwards down. The key to it is to make them have to scrummage, make them have to defend driving balls, so they haven't got the energy to run around the park.
Well, Richard Hill knows it's going to be a difficult one.
He does, and he's right to say that. As we've just said, Bedford are very, very dangerous. They've probably got the best set of backs in the division, arguably apart from Worcester's. But what Worcester have, and what they showed against Bristol on last Sunday, was they have this extra gear. Bristol started off and they were winning after 20 minutes, but Worcester being full-time, having such a big squad, they can wear teams down. And if you look back to the Moseley match when they beat Moseley, and it was very competitive for a long period, it's no surprise or it's no coincidence that they scored 2 tries in injury time and pad the scoreline. Worcester are an 80, 85, 90-minute team, and I'm not sure there are any other sides in the division that can go for as long as Worcester can, just in terms of their conditioning, and ultimately they have got very good players as well, and that's going to count over 80 minutes.
Oh, we'll have an analysis on that match next week. Now let's turn our attentions to Moseley. It wasn't a great start to the new year. It
wasn't. As you said earlier, the defensive problems were the issue here, and they really were. We've got some footage here of them conceding a first try, which is defensively it's the stuff of nightmares. It's a scrum near their own post, and Nottingham don't have to do anything special to get over the line here. They just pick it up, draw a man, and the fullback gets straight over. What's worrying is if you see the 2 Moseley defenders, that Andy Ray and Brad Davies, they get themselves in a right pickle. You've got one shooting out the line, another one over pursuing, and it's just too basic to be acceptable at that level. And another one, the second try we've got, we don't actually see it, but this score comes from Moseley in attack. They take the ball into the Nottingham 22. They lose it, they're turned over, and the next time they see it, it's behind their posts. Again, Moseley had the chances to score against Nottingham, didn't take them. Nottingham had fewer chances to score against Moseley and did take them. They were just much more clinical. They had more pace, better lines, just seemed generally a bit more cohesive in attack.
Well, after the game, we caught up with Captain Richard Stott.
Yeah, it's difficult. The boys are working really hard to get into positions and just making some mistakes, and obviously they're clinical when they get their chances. Second half, obviously we're chasing it a bit, but yeah, just that little bit extra to get across the line and a bit more patience. But there's some good stuff, but just to say we've got to get that win and start to turn it around, get that confidence once we get in the half and stuff. think we're not too far away. If we, as you say, we're working hard to get into positions. If we can start to click with those, the confidence will come with some of those lads. So some guys have come in, done a good job, and some good competition for places as well now, which always helps. So I think hopefully it'll push us forward to get a couple of those wins we need.
That was Richard's start. Well, it's not going to get any easier at London Welsh on Saturday, is it?
It's not. They've been down there recently on the positive side. They've been down there in the British and Irish Cup and beat what was ostensibly a London Welsh side, which was a brilliant performance and a real shock. However, when they played London Welsh in the league, and I think Welsh will be a different beast between Cup and League, they shipped 68 points, and we saw those defensive problems that we've just spoken about, even more at large in the first league match. Moseley have got a chance as long as they play. They try and relax and play without fear, and they really have nothing to lose here. No one expects them to go and win, so they can afford to go and take a few chances. Keep hold of the ball when they need to. Go to ground. Don't snatch at opportunities. They've been down there once and proved they can win. And belief, we've said many times in this programme that belief is an intoxicating and powerful thing to have on your side. So whilst I wouldn't write them off totally, they need to have that confidence and just relax and go and play a bit.
Now let's have a final word on bees, and they're still left languishing at the bottom of the table.
They are, and it just doesn't seem to be getting any better from them at the moment. I've said before that I feel their A game when they are on song. They're probably one of the best sides in the division. I'm not going to say they're as good as Worcester, but the bottom 6, bottom 8 maybe, that they're all much of a muchness. Their A game is as good as anyone's. However, the times that we're seeing these A games are getting further and further apart, and they lost an absolute. It was a crucial one on Saturday when they went down to Esher and lost, and to not even get a bonus point, having not allowed your opposition to score. But Esher scored 7 penalties. Bees didn't have the defensive problems that they've had, but still they didn't get over the line, and it's looking a bit bleak for them. Maybe the fact it's a double header on Sunday, will release a bit of pressure for them, and the fact they're at home, and the fact that the situation is becoming desperate. They responded very well to being desperate last season. If they can recreate that desperation this season, then I think they need to recreate it. It's not a question of if now.
Thanks, Brian. And thank you for watching. We'll be back next week with a roundup of those matches. Bye for now.